Hi, this is Michael Orrell from MobileBurn.com, and this is the Google Galaxy Nexus by Samsung for Verizon Wireless. It's the first Android 4.0 ice cream sandwich device on the market. It's available now for $299.99 on a 2-year contract. So let's pull the device out of the box. Up front and center, of course, is the Galaxy Nexus itself. Turn that on and set it aside. Doesn't appear to be any documents in here. This is the 4G LTE SIM card. It's been pre-installed by Verizon. Galaxy Nexus consumer information, product safety and warranty information, and of course a startup guide. Right here we appear to have a set of headphones. Yep, stereo earbud headphones, nice metal chrome trim on them. Micro USB cable, which can be used with the very compact charger, like so, and that's it. So here's the Galaxy Nexus. You can see it's a rather large device. I'll power it up just so we can see what the display looks like. 4.65 inch Super AMOLED HD display, so that's 720p HD resolution, 720 pixels by 1280 pixels. That includes the on-screen soft keys down here. There's no longer dedicated capacitive touch buttons down at the bottom as you find on most Android smartphones. Device is about 9.5, maybe a little bit thicker than 9.5 millimeters. Which is reasonably thin. You can also see it's curved to some slight extent. It weighs about 146 grams, which is not too bad. We've got a volume control here on the left-hand side. On the front, above the display, is a 1.3 megapixel forward-facing camera. It can record 720p video, which is nice. On the back is the main 5 megapixel camera, and yes, I said 5. It's a pretty low spec considering what other smartphones are coming out with right now, but it still records 1080p Full HD video. And it has an LED assist flash right next to it. On the right hand edge you see the power standby button, and there's also some contacts for a docking cradle. On the bottom is the 3.5mm headphone jack, and then there's a micro USB port as well. Microphone pinhole right there. Not too much to see up top. If we pull off the rear cover, we'll gain access to the 1,850 milliamp hour battery, which is good for 12 hours of talk time, or about 6.3 days of standby time according to Verizon Wireless. There is the SIM card slot for the 4G LTE service. There's no micro SD card slot to be found. There is 32 gigabytes of internal storage on the device though. In terms of processing power, we've got a 1.2 gigahertz dual core TIO map processor, and that's got a full gig of RAM backing it up. The back of the phone here, it's a flexible piece of textured plastic. It's not the richest feeling material in the world, but it's definitely better than some of the devices we saw from Samsung maybe a year plus ago that had gloss backs. In general, the phone feels pretty solid, nicely built. No one's going to mistake it for like the metal construction on the Droid Razr or the iPhone 4S, but still it's quite nice. And you can see the display is really fantastic. The Super AMOLED HD colors are really, really bright and vivid. You can see that our phone's running Android version 4.02 Ice Cream Sandwich. Update came as soon as I took the device out of the box and powered it up. In addition to the previously mentioned 4G LTE support, there's also CDMA support. No world roaming global capabilities though. Wi-Fi 802.11a, B, G, and N are on board, as is Bluetooth 3.0. Without getting into too many specifics and potentially showing how little I've used Ice Cream Sandwich at this point, I'm going to give you a quick tour of the home screen and main menu. First of all, here is the 5-panel home screen. You swipe left and right. There's no pinch gesture on this version, although I'm sure we'll see that on customized versions that come from manufacturers later. Notification area remains at the top, unlike Honeycomb, but you do have a Honeycomb style link to the settings. The on-screen buttons for back, home, and multitasking are there. There's no dedicated search button anymore, but you do see that the search box is always at the top of the screen when you're into home screens. This is the task switcher. It allows you to switch between applications. So let me launch something here like the movie studio, and then I'll launch a different application like maybe the calendar. And then you can see I can hit the task switching button here and quickly switch between applications. Say there's the camera right there, and jump into that quickly. Notice when you're in some full screen applications or things where it's just don't want the buttons to be too obvious, you'll see little dots here just like you see in Honeycomb. You can tap on those, they still act as task switcher, home, and back, and they still work, and as soon as you tap on them they go to their full size so you can see them. You also note that the user interface works well in landscape mode as well. The home screen does not function in landscape though. We'll jump into the main menu here, it's on the center. A lot of these apps I installed myself. They're not pre-installed. A lot of games from the 10-cent promotion that Google's been running. And notice the nice transitions. Good 3D effects. Like Honeycomb, you have some widgets built into a menu rather than just getting to them by long pressing on the screen. In fact, you can't get to them by long pressing on the screen anymore. You also notice that in the main menu we've got quick access to the Android market. Long pressing on the screen is still used for changing wallpapers though. It's about the only thing left on the home screen that it does. So they haven't gotten away from long presses entirely, but they're definitely moving in that direction. You can see we've got folder support. Works quite well. Very easy to do, just like it would be on an Apple iOS device. You just grab a shortcut and drag it onto another one, and all of a sudden you've got a folder. Drag them out easily as well. In addition to customizing the home screens, you can also customize the shortcuts at the bottom. Say I wanted to put email there, I could just long press on messaging, drag it up, and drag email down there. Now if I want to create a folder there, I just drag that on there, and now I have the folder for messaging. I can quickly access the messaging application or email right there from the home screen shortcuts. One of the things I noticed with Ice Cream Sandwich is that the user interface color scheme is not exactly consistent. You can see the home screen and notification area and even the main menu are all bright colors on black. You get into contacts, however, all of a sudden things are inverted and you've got bright colors and white everywhere. It's still quite nice looking, but it's just a big difference from the rest of the phone, and it just looks like a totally different group developed it inside of Google. By now you've probably noticed that there's no dedicated menu button, even on the soft keys down at the bottom. What you do have though is this menu button here that pops up. Now sometimes it's going to be at the bottom of the screen, like here in Contacts. However, if we jump into Calendar, you'll see that the 3-dot button is up at the top. Calendar is a good example of the use of the Roboto font that Google developed just for Android 4.0 Ice Cream Sandwich. You can see the text looks very, very nice. It's especially with the Super AMOLED HD display, it really has a paper-like appearance to it. And while we're here, let's jump into a different view. We'll jump into the notification area, so you can see we have a notification for text messages. Now I can just tap on this to go directly to text messaging. I can clear them all by hitting the X, and I can individually clear notifications by swiping them left and right. Now we still want to see that message though, so I can show you the Android 4.0 keyboard. But first of all, here's a quick look at the threaded text messaging. Tap here to bring up the keyboard. And of course the keyboard also works in landscape mode as well. I'm going to misspell it. You can see I typed another incorrectly, and it's going to automatically replace that. And just because this is an LTE device, I wanted to show you some of the LTE 4G data speeds. Gotten some reasonable download speeds considering a relatively weak signal here in my office. Upload speeds have been pretty weak though. You can see I've not even, except for that one instance there, broken the 1 megabit per second mark. A Motorola Droid Razr sitting in the same locations has actually been getting twice or more the upload speeds that the Galaxy Nexus has been getting. So that's my initial look at the Google Galaxy Nexus by Samsung for Verizon Wireless. It's the first device in the US market to run Android 4.0 Ice Cream Sandwich, and I'll come back with more in-depth videos after I've had more time to play with it. For now, I'm Michael Orrell for MobileBurn.com. Thanks for watching.